And as always, we're going to be looking for accurate context, good risk management, and always exercising good patience.
Everybody who's traded has gone through periods of time where their strategy hasn't worked.
Where if not a hard stop, you should reevaluate the trades you're in based on time.
That's what we're here for, is to put ourselves in the best success. A trading routine does that, builds that habit, lets you know what to work on, what to reflect on, and what to improve on the next day.
Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Market Recap for Monday, August the 22nd. I'm John Hoagland. Thanks for trusting me with your time. Hopefully you had an interesting and profitable trading day. Certainly some decent opportunities. Some round turns as far as crude oil is concerned, and just a really pretty decent route to the downside with our equities. I find myself wondering if gold is getting a little cheap. Natural gas really just kind of found some balance. As far as news is concerned throughout the day today, apparently Ford Motor Company is cutting 3,000 jobs to cut costs. Do you think that's a little bit of inflation perhaps creeping in the Ford Motor Company? OPEC says oil futures is disconnected and may force OPEC action. They may need to tighten output to stabilize the market. If you were watching around 10 o'clock, 10:15, something like that, the crude oil, which was well deep to the downside, had a direct turnaround and came all the way back up to trade back to settlement by the end of the session, a little bit beyond the regular trading hour session, but still. The U.S. stocks have tumbled on persistent inflation fears. This is the worst day we've had since back in June. Doesn't seem that long ago, but we've seen some decent upside movement. And this is the worst day again since June. The E-mini S&P is down 94 points unofficially, 2.23%. The Nasdaq down 366 points, down 2.75%. And the blue chip, the Dow futures, down 650 points, down 1.92%. My goodness, what a way to start the week, huh? As always, if you like what you're seeing, make sure you hit the lucky like button. If you don't, let me know. Jay Hoagland at topstep.com. Good session today for group coaching. I thought it was a good session. We had some really good questions. And we are looking forward to Make Hoag Money again tomorrow. Here is the link if you would like to join up for Make Hoag Money. You can always watch it on YouTube. But if you want to vote, you want a voice in these trades, come on and join us in our Zoom meeting. Good afternoon, Tachyon. We're up 120 for the combine. Good trading day. Nice to hear that, Tachyon. Scott saw and he conquered. Glitter Sandwich, closer than you've ever been to getting funded. Nice job. I'm going to remain patient, though, and stick to my plan. 100% the way to do it. My guy Vince, good afternoon. Bill, DA, good afternoon, everyone. Took a beating, but live to trade another day. Hope everyone else had a good day. Sorry you had a tough day. George, good afternoon. Lacey's around here somewhere. She's laying on the floor here somewhere. I'm sure she says good afternoon, George. Bron, good afternoon. If I don't pass combine within the month, will the account reset when I'm charged again next month, even if I'm green and didn't break any rules? No, the only way it's going to reset is if you have a rule violation. So you'll be fine for that. Good afternoon, PD Legend. And all right. So just kind of glazing over what the markets, mixed signals from Iran and OPEC Plus today created a deep dive and then recovery for crude oil. Both the E-mini S&Ps and the Nasdaq close at or near weekly kickoff lows. Still lots of visual targets down below for both of them. Gold one-time framing activity continues to the day time frame, but again, I'm wondering if it's getting too cheap. The euro closes convincingly below the low levels we haven't seen in the euro in over 20 years. 2002 was the last time we saw the euro this low against the US dollar. It's less than $1 now. The 10 years yields back above 3% now. Price approaching weekly kickoff low. The natural gas found a range-bound day, largely supported by the weekly kickoff high. We'll see if we brought in any new business up there, I guess, in the natural gas. Let's take a quick look through the charts for these as well. Just kind of reviewing what we were looking at this morning. We knew we had September expiration today in crude oil. I didn't think that was going to really have much of an effect on the marketplace, like that May expiration when it went negative $40. You don't see that very often. But we had the entire community just kind of waiting on news of the Iran deal. Then OPEC started to chime in today, so we had some fundamental information come at us here in the crude oil market today. Started off pretty deep to the downside. Weekly kickoff low tested, unaccepted down below at what time was this? Yeah, right after 10:30, around 10:15. Central Time is when OPEC started chirping, and they brought price back up relatively close to settlement, overnight inventory, regular trading hour session inventory to the short side, and I'll move right back to where we finished the week last week. The E-mini S&Ps talking about last week, thinking maybe the auction process was getting a little bit too long in the teeth. We did see some pullback later last week, and then Friday we had more of a deep pullback. That pullback continuing to the downside today. We've broken upside structure. We've got plenty of visuals down below here with which to look for. We've got gaps. We've got naked points of control. What is a naked point of control? Naked point of control is, first we have to know what the point of control is. Okay, this green line here is the volume point of control. When the price does not go back to them on a consecutive day or days after that, it tends to be a bit of a target. Why would it be a target? Because points of control are comfort zones. They are places where a lot of transactions occurred. They make traders feel all warm and fuzzy when we get to them, but if you ask me, in the daytime frame, they're usually not the best trade locations. When they are revisited, however, as naked points of control, sometimes you're going to find a good opportunity there. So I always try and extend those naked points of control beyond where price, where they end here, so that we can recognize them in the future. We've been talking about the lack of solid structure that the S&Ps have on this move to the upside, and that point of these naked points of control and unfinished gaps tend to be points of interest to traders. And if traders are focusing on a specific trade level, they're going to do subconsciously, I think, whatever it takes to get price down to that level. So today we finished in the day time frame trading all the way through this gap. Okay, so we're going to take this gap, and if I can find it, aha, there it is. So we're going to take this gap and we're going to just end it right here, so that we know that this was a gap that we finished, that we have, let's take a look here. It's a gap that has been filled in the day time frame. Okay, we also had a naked point of control right here that we traded to in regular trading hour sessions. So I'm going to shorten that up so that it's no longer out in front of us in the future. We do, however, have a naked point of control here from today's session that we'll add that as time goes on, but we're still looking at 1, 2, 3 naked points of control. Why, again, are they so important? They are comfort levels. They're levels that stick in traders' minds. There's a lot of transactions that occur there. Even if they are TPO points of control, volume points of control, they're always something that we're keeping an eye on. And they're only important when they become important. Like this, to this point of control here, did it become important? Well, it traded right to it. Took a little bit of a bounce and then came all the way back down through it. So we got 3 more little points of control to look at. We've got weekly kickoff low. I got to put that back where it was. Weekly kickoff low that is likely to be somewhat of an opportunity for us. And we've now placed another gap above price. So we're going to put a box on it and make it go out into the future. So that when we do come back to it, we remember that there is a gap there. So we cleared out one gap, created another. This is going to be interesting. So we've got price getting pretty deep here. Somebody mentioned earlier, I think during group coaching, are we starting to create a head and shoulders here? That is entirely possible for us to do that. We'll keep monitoring that. If we find an area over here where we start to kind of go range bound, we'll watch for that neckline to break and for a continuation to the downside. Take a look at the Nasdaq. Nasdaq closed below weekly kickoff low. The Nasdaq was ahead of us on the way up. It's ahead of the S&P on the way down. We took out 2 naked points of control. We tested down and closed below our weekly kickoff low here. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of participation we brought in today. Look at what we did here. This is the gap we filled in the S&Ps. We did not fill it in today. As a matter of fact, it still remains a gap. I'm going to close this up a little bit here, and I'm going to move this down a little bit here. So there's our new gap to the upside. The naked point of control running right through it that hasn't been checked. And we checked both of these. We were kind of running out of visuals to check down below. Doesn't mean we can't go there. Oh, my goodness. What a day, huh? So no gap close. We're going to be looking at that sometime in the future. Gold. Is it finally getting cheap? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days in a row of one-time framing to the downside. The volume was actually pretty good. We added 1,500 of estimated open interest on the way down on Friday. Is it getting cheap? 1736 is weekly kickoff low. I'm looking forward to an opportunity to see price there if we get it. Today we tried. Got a naked point of control. Again, another naked point of control down there, looking for eyeballs to look at it. We've got a gap above. We're almost very similar to the S&Ps or the Nasdaq here. We've got another gap above. I think it might be getting cheap. I think it might be. Maybe a little bit. So here's the euro. We took it out, kind of a psychological level, that par level, this swing low. We took that out today. There it is, opening, driving right through it, pulling back towards it, not ever getting to it. Are we going to see some continuation? Are we going to see some big moves here? We've got a lot of visuals above in the fact of naked points of control. Got a gap here. We've got another gap here. We've got another gap here. We got some weak structure above. That's only, again, going to be important when it's important. It's the 10-year rates creeping up. Of course, price looking lower. Looking forward to seeing a test of weekly kickoff low today if we can get it. And here's for the natural gas. So, some continuation. Looks like it. Okay volume. I'm going to be very interested to see what open interest did because we had a very even bell curve today. Very even trade, rotational, even bell curve. You're going to be looking to see if this market can continue this directional activity, but it's in rollover. We're probably going to be rolling on Wednesday or Thursday to the October contract, which may, again, keep a lid on a lot of the directional activity if the longer time frame traders are still focused on getting that cheap roll. It's going to be another interesting trading day tomorrow. Aren't they all interesting, though? Aren't they all interesting? Some interesting things happened in history on this day. On August 22nd, 1776, the British arrive at Long Island. They brought 20,000 men ready to land to fight the colonists. On this date in 1989, Nolan Ryan registers his 5,000th strikeout. That's pretty good. 1851, the U.S. wins its first America's Cup. I forgot about this song, and it's not even on the this day in music history. If you remember the song In the Year 2525 that came out on this date in 1969, a couple of days after the Woodstock. Speaking of, I believe either Saturday or Sunday was Robert Plant's birthday. Happy birthday, Robert. Today is actually Dua Lipa's birthday, born in 1995. Howie D of the Backstreet Boys, it's his birthday. Tori Amos, it's her birthday today. It's Donna Gotcha's birthday, who most of us will know that she was part of the Grateful Dead from 72 to 79, her and her husband. She was a lot more than that. She appeared as a backup singer on at least 2 number-1 hit songs. One of them was When a Man Loves a Woman by Percy Sledge, and Suspicious Minds with Elvis Presley in 1969. But she's had her vocals on just about every recording. I mean, we're talking Boz Scaggs, Dwayne Allman, Cher, Neil Diamond, among many others. A very prolific singer. 1979. This is the day we were all waiting for. It was the release of In Through the Outdoor, Led Zeppelin's last album. 1970, Bread went to number 1 on the U.S. singles chart with Make It With You, David Gates. That was their only number 1 hit, which I have a hard time believing. 1970, Creedence Clearwater Revival started a 9-week run at number 1 on the U.S. album chart with their 5th studio album, Cosmo's Factory. In 1968, Ringo Starr quit the Beatles during the White Album sessions when the constant bickering and tension became too much for him. The news of Ringo's departure was kept a secret, and he rejoined the sessions on September 3rd. After Ringo walked out, the remaining Beatles recorded back in the USSR with Paul on the drums and John playing bass. 1967, the Jimi Hendrix Experience appeared on UK BBC TV with the Simon D Show with Kiki D and Cat Stevens. Yikes. There was something else here I wanted to kind of look at here. Maybe not. That's about it. That's enough of that stuff. Yeah. You could say Captain Price oil certainly had a pop, right? All right. Well, what do we have for us tomorrow? PMI composite flash, early release, new home sales, Richmond Fed manufacturing index, and Neil Kashkari speaks tomorrow, but not till 6 o'clock tomorrow evening, so we don't have to worry about him. But we're still waiting for durable goods, GDP, Jackson Hole Economic Symposium. It's going to be a tough but exciting and hopefully profitable day or week for everyone. Looking forward to those of you who are so close to getting to that funded account. Keep at it. Stay with the program. Stay with the process, and let me know when you get there. I'll be very excited for you. Hegel Matters. Good to see you. Yes, Jimmy. And get some rest tonight. You know, it's going to be another interesting, challenging day tomorrow. They all are. I will look forward to seeing everybody tomorrow morning on the market forecast. We do have Make Hogue Money tomorrow, so we'll watch the opening of the S&Ps together, and hopefully we'll have some good trade ideas and make a little bit of money. Always a good idea. So be good to yourself. Be kind to others. Make sure you say a prayer for world peace and peace in yourself. Blessings to everybody. We'll see you tomorrow morning. Have a great evening.